Hi there, this is Kevin from GatheringMagic.com here with the wrap-up of the playing on a budget with our UW humans. A little bit heartbreaking there at the end, as we did get stomped, and when I mean stomped by UWR Flash. But as I said before, that's probably the worst matchup in Standard that I can think of. There's not a deck that I think is harder for us to beat than the UWR mid-range or Flash deck that was running just so many burn spells, and that Is It Staticaster game 2 was a good game. Anyway, the good thing is that isn't the most popular deck these days. I see it every once in a while. I usually don't see it in a 3-0 going into 3-0, as it does have some terrible matchups in Standard, but it definitely is a competitive deck. We've seen it since the beginning of Return to Ravnica because of the synergy between Angel of Restoration Angel and Augur of Bolas and Snapcaster Mage. So, yep. Anywho, we'll go to the wrap up here. The cards that I think performed very well, of course, is the Champion of the Parish and the Feeling of Dread. The Boros Elite seemed a little meh, and the Doom Traveler seemed a little meh, and the Angel of Jubilation seems like 3 is the wrong number. Probably either a 1 of or a 2 of in the deck. The Silverblade Paladin was fine, but again, it might be a little too many. It just seemed like the Skynight was a lot better than the Silverblade Paladin, and the only thing that Silverblade Paladin can really pair with that is crazy good is a Champion of the Parish. Boros Elite's okay. Champion of the Parish is great. With the Precinct Captain, I guess you could switch out for the Daring Skyjack, which is the 3/1 dude. I'll bring him up here. The Daring Skyjack, as that is another card that is definitely a nice pair with the Silverblade Paladin, because it is a 3/1 right off the bat, and the double strike is actually first strike and gives it first strike. So like pairing the Silverblade Paladin with the Precinct Captain is actually kind of cool because it hits twice. But with like a Thalia and a Precinct Captain, it's not giving them the advantage that they already didn't have of first strike. So I mean, it's good with the Knight of Glory though, on like a Boros Elite Knight of Glories, pair with it, attack for 6 type thing, and then you're feeling of dreading things down and Skynetting things down. So another card you could always go is Azorius Arresters. And yeah. So a couple of cards I was thinking of that could definitely, there's 2 cards I definitely put in the deck, and one of them is very expensive, one of them is not, and the first one is Spell Rupture. Spell Rupture I think is a good replacement for Negate or addition to Negate, and because a lot of times you'll have a first turn Champion of the Parish that's going to get evolved, or a second turn like Knight of Glory or Precinct Captain, and your Spell Rupture at least is going to be a counter target spell unless it's paid 2. A lot of times it'll be 3. It can even get up to like a 4 with the Champion of the Parish. So it's a pretty good card. I think that countering a creature on turn 4, like a Thragtusk on turn 5, is actually worth it. Or the Restoration Angel on turn 4 would be awesome. And you saw that in the last game with those negates in my hand. I couldn't do anything about the Is It Staticaster. If this would have been a Spell Rupture, I might have been okay. I might have been able to take that game. So I think the Spell Rupture is a little more versatile than Negate, and it would probably make the cut. So, but you could of course play 1 and 2, 2 and 1 type thing. I like the Dryad Militant. I thought it was great, but another option besides the Dryad Militant might be the Judge's Familiar. Judge's Familiar is great against Farseek. It sets a person back an entire turn. It's great against Burial Rites. It's great against a number of cards, but Dryad Militant of course is great against those sort of decks as well as anything with Flashback or Graveyard Recursion through instances or sorceries is completely countered by the Dryad Militant. I'm liking the Nearheath Pilgrim. I think it's a very powerful card. I didn't play against any aggro matches, so we didn't get to see this dude shine. I guess we did play against the Banchammets, and it didn't shine there. And Frontline Medic, of course, is going to stay in this as long as there is a card called Sphinx's Revelation in the format. I'm going to hate against it. So Frontline Medic is definitely a card that I will keep in here. Fiend Hunters didn't see the Fiend Hunters in any of the matches because the one aggro match was a hexproof match, but there are plenty of matchups where Fiend Hunter is great. I'd bring Fiend Hunters against Jund because it's an answer for Olivia. I'd bring in Fiend Hunter against a ton of decks because it's perfect tempo too. It's on 3rd turn. It's kind of like an Lyev Skynight, if nothing else. You detain it. Even if they end up getting their dudes back, it's like detaining their guy. So, loving the Fiend Hunter. It does deserve a spot, if not 4 of in the main board. So another card I was thinking of is Boros Reckoner. It's not a human, but it's just, this is like the best card against aggro right now. You throw it on a Boros Reckoner, and the RG aggros have a tough time dealing with this dude, or the mono red, or even like Jund. Jund has to fly over top with like Olivia or the Vampire Nighthawk, and all of the other ground-based aggro decks have to somehow deal with Boros Reckoner. And like I said, RG aggro has no way. The removal of Searing Spear, it becomes a 2-for-1. They spear my Boros Reckoner, it takes care of their spear, and I get to kill one of their guys. So something you could definitely put in the deck. Caverns of Souls, of course, I was talking about it earlier. Everything is a human in this entire deck, so except for the Angel of Jubilation. So Caverns of Souls would help your curve with the Skynight so good. You could replace planes, as every one of your white spells is a creature except for the Feeling of Dread. You'll have plenty of planes to actually cast it, and it will help your curve out, help you curve in those Lyev Skynights better. And against those counter spells that we did see in a couple games, it makes all of your dudes uncounterable. So I would recommend putting in the Caverns of Souls if you can afford them. Another card that I'm thinking about playing is a Riders of Gavany. It originally was in the deck. I ended up cutting it at last minute because I didn't think that there's a lot of diverse creature types. There's a lot of times you're not going up against a deck that is all zombies or all vampires or all whatnot. The good thing though is you can name humans, so it can shut down Naya Blitz, because you can make your humans protection from humans. So pretty good. And this card definitely deserves, if nothing else too, if they have one creature on board, say they have a Boros Reckoner, you just say Wizard or Minotaur, and then the Boros Reckoner can't block on turn 4. So Riders of Gavany is probably, I would probably replace one of Angel of Jubilation for Riders of Gavany for maybe 1 or 2 in the sideboard, and call it good. But it's a very powerful deck. You saw us go 3-1. A lot of those matchups were close. I did have some lucky top decks there, but I have played this deck, a very similar deck to this, quite successfully in the past. Back in Gatecrash, I did a deck like this as well, and I do believe I went 3-1 in that. When I played that on my channel on RogueDeckBuilder.com as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this match. 3-1 is nothing to scoff at. I get 2 draft sets out of it, so a very fun deck. I hope you enjoyed this. This is Kevin from GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. For more great videos, check out my YouTube channel at YouTube/RogueDeckBuilder. Thanks for watching.